The stations of KUAM, proud sponsor of the 12th Festival of Pacific Arts, Guam 2016. What we own, what we have, what we share, united voice of the Pacific.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&D.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia for over 75 years. Matson Navigation, proud sponsor of FESPAC 2016, Cars Plus, Dodge Challenger, the undisputed champion, IP&E, fueling excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, Pacific Solar, and Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, where all games are just one token.
Coming right up on prime time, the FBI and HUD pay a visit to GHURA, the latest with a federal investigation. Also, a federal judge hears from a third party on your government's efforts to get back control of solid waste management. And with more than a dozen bomb threats reported today alone, one school is saying enough is enough. Hafa Guam and good evening. If you're joining us on Guam or anywhere in the world on our live stream on YouTube, I'm Jason Salas. These are tonight's top headlines. Well, agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the U.S. Housing and Urban Development's Office of Inspector General are probing the practices of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority. And as Ken continued to report in tonight's top story, although that agency has been under the microscope for several months now, it appears Uncle Sam's investigation is widening.
Say anything that may...
GHURA Executive Director Michael Duenas says the investigation continues.
As of today, we have responded to 13 subpoenas. We provided all the documentation that they've requested. To my knowledge, they continue to review all the items that were identified in the DEC report.
These subpoenas date back to July last year from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The subpoena is related to a Departmental Enforcement Center report over conflict of interest violations and the repayment of federal funds, none of which have yet to be paid back.
At this point, we're just waiting for HUD basically to come up with a conclusion in a position on the conflict of interest issue. And from there, I guess we'll have another set of discussions.
As we reported, HUD recommended GHURA repay back $1.4 million received to construct a new building that was never built. The report also noted nearly $600,000 in legal fees and housing funds paid to GHURA's former legal counsel, who was determined to have violated conflict of interest rules. Duenas says a special agent from the HUD Office of Inspector General was on Guam recently, accompanied by local FBI officials to interview more employees and review more documents related to the investigation.
He's following up on I'm sure, a referral made by the office that handles the Section 8 public housing programs for them to take a closer look at the issues identified in the DEC report.
Duenas says while HUD officials have met with GHURA before, this was the first time he can recall someone from the HUD OIG visiting. But the DEC report isn't the only area the feds are looking at.
We did receive a tip about some inappropriate or processing and in our Section 8 program, and that was referred to the agent while he was here.
Duenas could not confirm whether any employees were involved or whether any action was taken against anyone yet, as the investigation is still ongoing. He can, however, confirm that GHURA on occasion does receive tips of participants not following the rules of the program. He says GHURA is obligated to pass all tips, including whether it involves employees, to the IG's office.
How they proceed from there is a decision they make, and sometimes they may pass it on to the local law enforcement agent to pursue.
He says the Inspector General is expected to return in a few months. To report any discrepancies or violations, you can call GHURA's hotline at 477-9851. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.
Ken, thank you so much. In other news, a third-party opinion is supporting the expedited transfer of landfill operations to local control. Local businessman Simon Sanchez says GovGuam's timeline and financial plan does make more sense, and more importantly, are in the best interest of local ratepayers? Mr. Lecanto has our next story.
GovGuam asked Sanchez to submit a court response because of his longtime experience as a utility board member and his business interests in the solid waste industry. GovGuam and federal receiver GBB are not only at odds over a quicker transfer of management control, but also over a long-term finance plan for the Luzon landfill. Sanchez says GovGuam's proposal is much more in line with typical utility financing. It spreads repayment over 20 to 30 years with lower debt service. He also disagrees with GBB's plan for the Solid Waste Authority's yearly surplus of $4.5 million. He says current ratepayers shouldn't have to pay for services their grandkids will be using.
The receiver's plan takes every available penny for the next 10 years and freezes it for projects, whereas under the government's plan, there'd be much more flexibility. There'd be a chance to even lower tipping fees.
Sanchez also says GSWA could save $1.5 to $2.3 million more a year in management costs once a local manager and CFO take over. He says the receiver's position seems to reflect a distrust over GovGuam's near-term ability to run the landfill and long-term commitment to properly fund it.
When the receiver says GovGuam can't be trusted to finance things, I think that's wrong. GovGuam has financed lots of things out of receivership and has never missed a payment.
Finally, Sanchez says the original court order was simply to close the old ORDOT dump. As a result, it's had to also open a new landfill, but that's it, he says. The receiver should no longer be involved in the landfill going forward.
I think the receivers just got to let go. And remember one thing, Frances Titinko Gatewood's not going anywhere. She lives here, she knows everything. If the future GSWA makes a misstep and starts to go in a direction that is going to put us at risk again with violating federal law, she will step in. I have no doubt about that.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General's office has the financial ability to bring in legal experts for the audit consent decree case and other federal litigations. Governor Eddie Calvo signed Bill 212 into law this week. That measure provides the flexibility for the AG's office to use up to $700,000 in lapsed funds for this specific purpose. Other federal cases involve DEPCOR and a lawsuit related to the plebiscite vote. Also tonight, police received another round of bomb threats to local schools today. A whopping, and get this, 13 such threats to be exact. Now what's changed is how they're being handled. And we've told you all this week, and now it's official. The Department of Education has developed a bomb threat risk assessment matrix, or RAM, in collaboration with the police and fire departments, as well as Homeland Security's Marianas Regional Fusion Center. The RAM does assist school administrators to maintain incident command when they receive bomb threats, to assess the level of risk or threat and take appropriate actions proportionate to the level of the threat. For example, today during threats, no students were evacuated, but instead sheltered in place until administrators assessed the risk level. Many schools were cleared within minutes. Check out the KUAM News mobile app or KUAM.com to see which ones got threats. Well, on that note, 3 boys are spending some time at the Department of Youth Affairs tonight for their alleged roles in making bomb threats to their schools. Police spokesperson Officer Paul Tapao says the Juvenile Investigation Section took in 3 minors today. One of them was confined for a bomb threat made Wednesday morning down at Inarahan Middle School. A second minor was confined for a bomb threat to Southern High School that took place on January the 21st. And finally, a third minor was arrested for a bomb threat that took place today at Ogata Johnston Middle School in Ordet. All 3 boys were charged with terroristic conduct as well as crimes against the communities. Staying with this beat, students and administrators alike gathered during a special assembly at Ogata Johnston Middle School this afternoon, hearing the same message regarding bomb threats that's being promoted at all DOE schools.
All of you in this room need to be part of this solution. Some of you in this room have been. I'm not going to search you up. I'm not going to do that to you. Ogata Johnston is batting 1,000. Anybody know what that means? That means that every student that has written something in a book or written something in a wall has been dealt with already. They're being adjudicated right now. You know what adjudicated means? They're being charged in court. 2 of those kids are detained. The other one is on house arrest.
Several students also spoke out against the threats, which have led to a loss of instructional time, a ban on mobile phones, a ban of all school activities, and daily bag searches, among other activities. Well, as you now know, KUAM will be airing our It's No Joke School Bomb Threats interactive TV special next Wednesday right here on KUAM TV, featuring Department of Education representatives, youth counselors, law enforcement professionals, and students together for a group discussion about this very troubling rash of acts against the community. You can participate live on Twitter and YouTube. Make sure to tune in. That's next Wednesday, February the 3rd, right here on KUAM TV at 6:30. Well, when we come back, we'll tell you the latest Decision 2016 headlines, and we're going to take a closer look at child homelessness on Guam. That does exist, and we'll bring it to you when we return.
Stay connected to the world at home from everywhere you are. Get the KUAM News app for the latest in local news, videos, sports, streaming, Isla 63 AM, weather, and more. Available for free now at the iTunes App Store or Google Play.
Congratulations, you just won!
All right. You too can win in Calvo's Insurance Ride Your Dreams giveaway. If you are a Calvo's Insurance home or personal auto customer, you qualify to enter by texting LOYAL to 2015. And if you need an insurance quote, text quote to 2015 for a chance to win in our grocery giveaway. Thank you, Guam, for placing your trust in Calvo's. Insure with Calvo's today and ride your dreams to reality.
One of our main goals at Payless Supermarkets is to build a healthier, happier community. So in 2016, we want to introduce the redesigned Health Smart program. Meet our registered dietitian.
Half a day, I'm Rose.
She's here to assist you with nutritional education and simple ways to make healthier decisions while shopping. Together, we've created 7 health-related categories, and we'll be featuring products from each category every month. Look for these Health Smart labeled items on our shelves to help you find healthier choices for your dietary needs. You can also sign up for weekly store tours with Rose, where you can learn helpful nutritional information about Health Smart items. There will also be special deals after each tour or discounts for partnering gyms. Spaces are limited, so sign up at our service counters or at paylessmarkets.com. And if you're looking for some healthy ideas, visit us on Start Smart Mondays, where our Jackie booths will be sampling delicious healthy products and recipes you can try at home. We hope to help you so that the healthy choice is also the easy choice for a healthier, happier you.
It's time for Shop Guam 2015. The Guam Visitors Bureau and more than 100 Shop Guam partners have teamed up to bring back the Shop Guam Festival, going on now until February 15th. This annual interactive shopping experience highlights Guam as a fun, fashionable, and diverse shopping destination, while giving our local community access to more than 200 deals and discounts. With new only on Guam and event features. Look for the Shop Guam logo at your favorite stores. Download the free Shop Guam mobile app and enjoy incredible discounts on shopping, dining, and entertainment.
It's Triple J Auto Group's Drive Now and Pay Later event going on now. Buy the car of your dreams and make no payment for 90 days. Get in an all-new Honda, Acura, Ford, Mazda, Lincoln, Volvo, or Kia and pay nothing for 3 months on approved credit. Plus, we've got unbelievable savings in all remaining 2015s and many 2016s. Now's the time to buy during Triple J's Drive Now, Pay Later event. Visit us online at carsguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Download our free app on Apple and Google stores. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
Follow KUAM News on Twitter or become a fan on Facebook to get all your daily headlines from Guam's News Network.
Primetime continues, and we are KUAM, and the issue of child homelessness was highlighted at a public hearing this morning. That hearing comes on the eve of the annual point-in-time count, which takes place on Friday. Isa Baza has more details.
If we don't help those youth and the children, this cycle of homelessness will not end on the island.
Homeless Coalition Chair Margaret Hattori is referring to the hundreds of children that are exposed to either homelessness or inadequate housing here in Guam. During Thursday's hearing, she shared the concerning numbers of children living without a roof over their heads.
The age breakdown 0 to 5 unsheltered was 196. There were 14 in the shelter. 6 to 10, it's 123. If you add, there were 10 in emergency shelter for ages 6 to 10.
That's a total of 343 children between the ages of 0 and 10 that were considered homeless in 2015. Terry Uggan from the Department of Public Health and Social Services said these circumstances disproportionately affect children.
Definitely, we are concerned about the social, emotional, behavioral development of these young children and what that means to them through their developmental years. And we know that 75 to 85% of a child's brain is developed by the time they're 3 years of age, which means if they experience homelessness, which in many situations is hopelessness, then that's what helps form their biological memory.
The need to break this cycle was shared by all stakeholders present at the hearing. Although no one solution could be pinpointed to address the complexity of the situation, Uggan asked community leaders to work together to find an aggressive, long-term, and sustainable plan. Stakeholders agreed that an effective plan needs to include much more than just rapid housing, but funding and access to auxiliary public services as well. During the upcoming point-in-time count, 42 teams of volunteers will scour the island to assess the numbers island-wide. The teams will also distribute a newly formed universal referral form, which aims to connect more people with the services they need. The count begins early Friday morning. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Isa Baza.
Well, the Guam Election Commission in other news may have been in election mode for several months now, but according to Agency Executive Director Maria Pangilinan, things officially start rolling on Friday.
Friday, January 29th, would be the first day where complete candidate packets will be available. So, it's already, we're gearing for the elections come August and November.
A series of candidate seminars will be held next month.
It's a chance to come in and ask questions of the GEC. We will go through the organizational report and the election campaign contributions and expenditures report thoroughly. We'll go through the packet. We will let them know that besides the Superior Court clearance, the Guam Court clearance, we now require a district court clearance.
The deadline to file for candidacy in Decision 2016 is the 28th of June. And on that note, one of the people that will be picking up a packet tomorrow is Regine Bisco-Lee. Today, she announced her intent to run for a seat in the 34th Guam legislature as a Democrat. Lee is a communications and marketing professional and worked as policy advisor to Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo, as well as being chief of staff for Senator Tina Rose Muñoz-Barnes. She chairs the board for Sanctuary and is involved in multiple nonprofit organizations. She was also named the Guam Chamber of Commerce's 2014 Reina Letty Young Professional of the Year. Well, and just as election season rolls into high gear, former Senator Bob Klitsky spoke today before the Rotary Club of Guam today on questions he has for individuals running for the next set of senatorial hopefuls. Klitsky, who's been a staunch opponent to salary increases after the 2014 elections, says the first question people should ask is whether candidates will use their best efforts to roll salaries back to the levels of pre-November 2014.
Well, and if you're in a hurry, if the answer to that question is no, skip the other 4 questions. Because that kind of tells you everything you need to know about that particular candidate. It tells you that he is a person that is interested in public employment, not public service. He is interested in what you might characterize as the royal approach to service in the legislature.
Other questions he would ask candidates relate to term limits, whether they favor a citizens or part-time legislature, and what they believe are the most important legislative functions as a sitting senator. Celebration is now part of the official congressional record. Congresswoman Berdallo presented the Guam International Airport Authority with a copy of her remarks on the House floor. That entry commemorates the airport's milestone since it became an autonomous government of Guam agency in 1976. In similar news, the airport announced that Philippine ambassador to the U.S. Jose Quisia will be on Cebu Pacific's inaugural flight when it launches its first ever U.S. service to Guam in mid-March. Well, fire investigators were on scene at Tizen High School Thursday afternoon. This after a fire was set in the boys' restroom in the K-Wing. According to GFD spokesperson Kevin Riley, the fire occurred just before 2 p.m. and was fortunately confined to a trash can. School staff were able to extinguish the flames. No injuries were reported. Well, the first of 3 conventions kicked off Friday on how the people of our island envision Guam over the next 50 years. The Imagine Guam convention begins at the Disatani, where teams of people will discuss where they see the future of our community, from areas in technology to climate change to geopolitical forces. Troy Torres is the Imagine Guam Steering Committee chairperson.
We're very excited because there are people from all walks of life throughout this island, a cross-section of this island. About, I think the last count was 291 confirmed to come together tomorrow as members of 17 different teams that are going to look at 17 different disciplines of life and society on Guam and vision basically what Guam would look like 50 years from now. And that would be the purpose of this first convention. And then the next 2 conventions will be filling in the blanks between now and 2065.
You'll be able to live stream the convention. Just go to our app or website for the link. You want to bookmark that, along with being able to contribute ideas, make comments, and ask questions. Imagine.guam.gov is where you want to go, and it launches tonight. 2 more Imagine Guam conventions are set for February and March. The convention is at 8 in the morning and goes until the close of the business day. All right, everybody, please stay tuned. Sports is coming up. Plus later, Jonah Goncharfers introduces you to another teacher with a touch of class. We've got an extra special story coming right up, so please stay with us.
Love your flat screen all over again with enhanced HD TV programming from GTA. Explore over 100 HD channels with the sharpest picture and sound quality you can only get from Guam's leader in high definition. That's 3 times more channels than Docomo.
Watch live news coverage like never before.
Experience the thrill of the game in the comfort of your own living room. With so many HD networks, movies, cooking shows, comedies, you'll never want to leave your couch. GTA, your island, your HD network.
Do you work hard and need to get away? Then play Micronesia Mall's Drive Away Getaway game and you could win 3 Nissan car driveaways, plus 30 getaways to Manila on Philippine Airlines. Just present mall receipts to enter and win the Nissan Rogue Beach Package, the sizzling Sentra SR, the Rogue Sport Package, plus great instant prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker. Shop and win more cars, trips, and prizes when you play Micronesia Mall's Drive Away Getaway game.
New year, new rides. Cars Plus New Year's sales event. For a limited time only, make no payments for 90 days. That's right, no payment for 90 days. The station.
What they're doing, and Core Labs is one of them. Stay with me.
Coming up, low-hanging fruit? Shares of Apple stock dropped after the company reported disappointing sales of its flagship device. Is now the time to buy into this tech titan? Or has the apple finally fallen far from the tree? Don't miss Kramer's Take, next.
I asked my dentist if an electric toothbrush was going to clean better than a manual. He said, sure, but don't get just anyone. Get one inspired by dentists with a round brush head.
Go pro with Oral-B. Oral-B's rounded brush head cups your teeth to break up plaque and rotates to sweep it away. And Oral-B delivers a clinically proven superior clean versus Sonicare Diamond Clean.
My mouth feels super clean.
Oral-B. Know you're getting a superior clean.
I'm never going back to a manual brush.
Let's get these Dayquil liquid gels and go.
But these liquid gels are new. Mucinex Fast Max.
It's the same difference.
This one is max strength and fights mucus.
Mucinex Fast Max, the only cold and flu liquid gel that's max strength and fights mucus. Let's end this.
Working on my feet all day gave me pain here
in my knees.
But now I step on this machine and get my number, which matches my Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. Now I get immediate relief from my foot pain.
My knee pain.
Find a machine at drscholls.com.
Cheez-It Grooves are the perfect union of a Cheez-It and a chip.
You mean like they got married?
I guess.
You'd make a pretty bride in that wedding gown.
It's a lab coat.
Hey, everyone, Joe's getting married.
I am not.
We take time for our cheese to mature in our crispy Cheez-It Grooves.
Plumpify your lashes with new Plumpify Mascara. A ginormous lash lifting brush boosts lashes to 50 times the volume and lifts lashes up, and away. New Plumpify Mascara from Easy Breezy Beautiful CoverGirl.
Superstore has been working hard to become the year's #1 new comedy.
Way to go! Showing initiative.
Oh.
Catch the first 7 episodes on the NBC app and see what all the fuss is about.
I took part in a cow birth once. The calf died, but I learned what not to do.
And this Monday, a wedding day sale where everyone's welcome.
I don't know how, but you really seem to have a handle on this whole gay, Oh!
A new Superstore, Monday at 8, 7 Central on NBC.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That is one aggressive stroll. I blame it on the hip-hop.
Last summer, fans kept quoting The Carmichael Show.
You can't wear wedges to a protest!
And the critics kept raving about it.
I think I understand what being transgendered means. The woman trapped inside of him will tell the man what to do.
Last summer's #1 comedy premiere returns March 13th.
I would like to pray on this for you, but I don't want to put the Lord in an awkward spot.
The Carmichael Show. Catch all episodes now on demand or on the NBC app.
How do we value a company that's just not like any other company? How do we put a price tag on a business that currently has an active user base of more than 1 billion very satisfied customers, having just added another 75 million to the tally this quarter past? That's the conundrum facing those who try to value the stock of Apple, the greatest wealth creator of our generation. It's a quandary that highly paid analysts face 4 times a year when they have to peer into the future and extrapolate from the company's quarterly earnings report in order to give you advice about what the stock should be worth. And after today's shellacking, well, I don't know. I question how much their advice is worth. For my money, I think they're blowing it. Sure, the analysts have price targets they can move and models they can adjust and phones they can count. Those various inputs yield some conclusions that are very much in keeping with other discussions, that other decisions these guys might have made about any other hardware company they might have they might have followed in their career. Maybe they followed Hewlett-Packard or EMC. Maybe they followed an Intel, Compaq. And what's their conclusion?
Preparing for a bone marrow transplant.
The club has come together to help support one of the teammates' sisters who will be undergoing bone marrow transplant. The fundraise will be going to her medical needs. We're trying to help the family in any way possible. Of course, our club, we consider everybody as part of our family, and it really brought home how close cancer, these kind of illnesses can be to us. And we certainly hope that the community will help support us and help support the family as well. They're walking around with pledge sheets. Depending on how many sprawls they have, they'll be able to raise whatever amount of money pledges have donated. It's going to be an exciting event. Again, the sprawl itself is a defensive move to prevent a person from being taken down, and we believe that it's very applicable for the purpose of the fundraising event.
Make sure to catch Super Bowl 50 on KUAM TV 11. It's the Carolina Panthers taking on the Denver Broncos. Kickoff is scheduled for 9:30 in the morning on February 8th, right here on the stations of KUAM. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
This is iPhone 6s. Not much has changed, except it responds to the pressure of your finger, which changes how you read a text, read an email, read the news. Wait, you read the news?
Yep.
Of course you do. The camera shoots 4K video now, and selfies have changed. Now your screen is the flash. That's going to get like 1 million likes.
Thanks.
Actually, photos themselves have changed. They move now. So yeah, that's what's changed.
These used cars are Nissan certified, and let me show you why I stand behind every used car that we sell. First, our certified technicians inspect every used car to make sure it's safe, reliable, and mechanically sound. Then any scratches and dings are given first-class treatment at our body shop. And after thorough detailing inside and out, the car is ready for sale. At a price that's always below Blue Book. That makes Nissan used cars your best buy.
Introducing Pizza Hut's first $7.99 flavor menu. Just $7.99 each when you order 2 or more. Say yes to a medium 1-topping pizza. Yes to Wing Street Wings. Yes to a Hershey's cookie. And much more. It's easy to say yes to our first ever $7.99 flavor menu. Only at Pizza Hut.
While hundreds of homeless seek shelter every day, when memories fade like old photographs, and families struggle to care for loved ones with special needs, as young children are caught in the storm of abuse and neglect, we are there. For over 30 years, We have helped Guam's victims of life when there was nowhere else to turn. You can help too by giving $1 a month. God bless you.
Over the years, Clementine saw a lot. She saw Mark grow up. She saw him tempted, but she never felt threatened. Until Taco Bell introduced Crunchwrap sliders, and Clementine began to worry for her personal safety. But little did she know that under her own body was a weird rubber plug. 4 big, full-size flavors that won't break the bank. Crunchwrap sliders, including new spicy beefy nacho and sriracha chicken. Only at Taco Bell.
We've got a very special touch of class for you now as Jonah Gonchar introduces you to a teacher whose inspiration extends far beyond the classroom.
I tell my kids, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can come to school every day being sick, you can come to school every day too. I'm here for you and only you.
Vanessa Renee Perez is a 5th grade teacher at Finnegodson Elementary School and has been for the past 8 years.
I just found myself loving it. I taught 4th grade for 1 year and then moved up to 5th grade, and I've been there ever since. And I think 5th grade is kind of where I found the love because they're, for one, more mature, and then 2, I'm getting them ready for middle school.
She says her teaching style is constantly changing and believes in order for her students to succeed, she needs to adapt to them.
It's not my teaching style. My kids are, in my classroom, I have 20 right now, and my max is usually 25, and I had to learn how to be an auditory teacher, a kinesthetic teacher. Most of my kids, when they learn, they love it when I play music. As I learned that process, it just made teaching a whole lot easier for me.
Perry says at the beginning of the year, she calls the parents to introduce herself. She also says that when she notices a student is falling behind or if there's a disciplinary issue, she'll do home visits.
You get to know the family and you get to know where the student comes from so that when they're in the classroom, you again adjust yourself and you look at this is why the child is like this. And you make it a point to reach that child.
But she also adds that she'll call parents to let them know if their child had a great day.
They just really want someone to be there for them when they're here, and I tell my kids, you are my children. I cannot have any kids, so you are my kids.
Despite battling cancer, Paris says that she finds strength in her students.
When my neuropathy comes on and I don't have any feeling in my fingertips or my feet, like my kids they would go down to my car when they see me coming in and they would grab my bags from the truck and walk with me. I'm going down the stairs. I have one in front, one inside, one in back to make sure I don't fall down. They sit with me in the classroom when it's time, when it's lunchtime. They would ask, Ms. Perez, can I be with you? And I'm like, sure. And they're just taking care of me. I'm so spoiled when it comes to my babies in this class.
As for what she hopes for all her babies,
I just want them to know that they have the confidence and they have all the abilities to move on and be successful if they just push themselves and give their 100%.
With this week's Touch of Class, I'm Jonah Gonchar.
Well, if you do have a teacher that you would like to be featured on a Touch of Class, email us, please. The email address is touchofclass@kuam.com. Include the teacher's name, what subject they teach, and their school, and we'd be happy to feature them right here. Now for weather. Tally-ho! Tonight we have isolated showers, mostly cloudy skies with a low of 75 degrees. It is breezy with an east by northeast wind, 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 24. On Friday, we will have isolated showers, so please bring an umbrella just to be safe. Partly sunny skies, ironically, with highs near 85 and evening lows dipping to 75 degrees. Well, it's that time when we end on a happy note. Let's say happy birthday to the newest members of tonight's Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. And right off the bat, we say happy birthday number 8 to Sierra Kirchai. She is absolutely precious. Happy birthday, Sierra, to you and your family. Also, happy birthday to Annie St. Nicholas. She's from Dedido, and this comes from Mully Vivian, Pari Kiko, and the entire family. Happy birthday, Annie. Happy birthday also goes out to Mayor Sablan Babata. Happy birthday from the Makshot Association, Mangapa. We've had a couple of those in the past couple of weeks, and that is awesome. So guys, keep sending us that. We really enjoyed doing it. And last but certainly not least, happy birthday to Carmelita Gogui, coming from your loving family, and all of us here at KUAM and all of our friends at Cold Stone Creamery. And you can be a part of the birthday club. Just go online, register, then sit back and watch.